Hello, you've welcome to the Rhythm of Podcast, the Voice of the People series. And I have with me today Lea Harper, who is the Human Resource Director for Wilson Pediatric Therapy out of the Lexington, Kentucky area. And we're so excited to have you today, Lea, and love to hear you share your story, your journey about you, your organization. So we look forward to it. And just to get us started, if you can just give us a little bit about who you are, what you do, your organization, and we'll go from there.
Yeah, well, thank you so much. Dr. Daniels, I'm so glad to be here. And I guess a little bit about me, I work with Wilson Pediatric Therapy and we're healthcare. So we work with kiddos, birth to 21, I guess.
Okay.
And I've been with the company coming up on 7 years, and it's been quite of a wild ride. I actually started with the company when I was in college and undergrad, and I just did shadowing there. I thought I wanted to be a therapist, and then I graduated and I got on with the company as a dyslexia interventionist. So I worked one-on-one with kids that have dyslexia. And that was super rewarding because I also probably have dyslexia, which I think makes me fun. But and then the pandemic happened, which was a weird time for everyone, right?
Yeah.
A lot of unknowns. So I was working from home doing that virtually with the kiddos, and there was some restructuring that was happening with the company. I got a call from my boss one day, and she was like, "You want to be the clinic manager?" And I was like, "I guess. I mean, I'm up for the challenge. I don't know what I'm doing, but we'll figure it out." I did that for a few years, and we actually grew during COVID, which was amazing. And then with that growth, we needed to restructure again, and I was offered the HR director and administrative, director as well. I kind of do both. So that's kind of where we're at, and we're going through another growth spurt right now. So a lot of learning for me and our team, but it's going good, and we're going to be able to help more kids, which is the goal. So.
Yeah. Well, so as you say, you go through your growth spurt right now. How do you build collaboration? What are some of those initiatives that helped you build a collaborative culture?
Yeah. I think for us, our team is tight, and we're not a super large organization
Mhm.
either. We've got 30 employees. So there's definitely still struggles, that come along with being that small. But I think because we're that small, our communication is tight. So I would say, our organization is laid out. So there is kind of, I don't like to say tiers because I feel like I treat everyone the same, regardless if you've been with the company for a day or 7 years. But there's kind of a hierarchy where we can raise things up. I think for us, our leaders, we have weekly meetings with our leaders. And we also allow kind of an open door policy too for our juniors. And I think that has been huge with the growth because there are a lot of questions, what's this going to look like for us? How is the dynamic of the company going to look? And I think that has strengthened us, as a team, but it's also given us trust
Mhm.
within the company, which is huge.
Mhm.
Um, so yeah, I mean, we'll see how that goes. I just hired 4 people, which is big for us last week. So we had a meeting today about it, and I think we're all feeling really good about just the layout of getting those, new hires in and making them feel comfortable, but also making our current staff feel comfortable in that change.
With that thought right there, you just led me right into it. I tell you what, Lea, you just led. So with that thought, and you just hired 4 people, how do you attract and retain in this climate of tough talent, right? How did you attract and retain, and how do you retain that talent?
Yeah, attracting the talent, that has been hard. I think we're hiring at the right time because being in healthcare, there are limited programs in our area, especially for the therapies that we're hiring for. So speech therapy, occupational therapy are the main ones right now. And there's just not a lot of schools in the area that offer those programs. However, our speech therapists are graduating in the May timeframe, and our occupational therapists are graduating in like the August timeframe. So we're in a good spot, I think, and we've made really good connections with the universities in the area that have those programs. And the pediatric therapy world is pretty small, I'm finding out. So everybody kind of knows everybody, and so we do that. But also our marketing girl is amazing, and I work with her on, you know, how many platforms can we push this out to? What's doing well? What isn't? How can we increase our budget? What do we need to back off of? So I guess teamwork for that, and internally and externally is how we've attracted top talent. Retaining top talent is different. And I think, again, going back to just creating a culture where people want to be is, I think, number one. You know, you're working with these people all the time, you know, you want to have that good environment and feel supported, and being with like-minded people, I think, is important in that regard. But also driving in diverse candidates, you know, is huge too. So we definitely try to do that. And I would say just building that trust, you know, and having that open door policy, and encouraging conversations for new ideas, or, you know, if something's not working, how can we fix that? And I think we've done that by allowing our staff to come to us, but also, you know, in the world that we're in, pediatric therapy, it's mostly women. So you have to think about family growth for them. And if we've got someone and we love them and we want them to stay on, then let's talk about, what is your ideal scene? That's what we call it, ideal scene. Don't think about the money. Don't think about how many patients you're going to be seeing, or anything like that. Think about what's going to work best for you, present it, and let us worry about if it's doable or not. And we'll meet in the middle if we can't meet you all the way. And I think that's what I really appreciate, you know, about the company, as well as the CEO has just created that environment, which is
I
huge.
love that approach. What is your ideal scene? I love that approach. That's magical. Why didn't you think about that when I was in HR?
I think, yeah, it's definitely not something I came up with. It's something I came into, and I think it's huge, and it's helped me professionally and personally, you know. So yeah, ideal scene.
So tell me this, with your HR experience background, and I know you said you've been in it, but 7 years as an HR professional.
Yeah, 5 for
Right.
HR, but yeah.
So what do you see as the obstacles to building employee engagement? You know, there's a strong correlation between employee engagement and organizational performance. What do you see as some obstacles, if you speak into this HR world and people world, that slows down that engagement?
I mean, again, I only know the world that I'm in, you know, in HR, and healthcare is tricky because we have to see patients to be able to make money. I do think that the biggest struggle is getting our team together while we're at work. I think, you know, everyone talks about work-life harmony, work-life balance, and that's definitely something that we want to continue to promote, and continue to strengthen so we can retain. So allowing time for, you know, our therapists to do their work at work, whether that is seeing patients, doing notes, having employee engagement, like activities within the clinic that we're doing, you know, we want to keep it at work. I think celebrating anything is huge. You know, did you just run a marathon? Awesome. Let's celebrate that. Did you just get a certification in something, or did you discharge a really hard kiddo because they made progress? Are you getting married? What does that look like? Let's celebrate it together. And we do that a lot. birthdays, work anniversaries. I would say we're really good at doing that. Getting us all together at one time, though, I would say is the hardest thing. And we're working with, our marketing coordinator, who is amazing. I think what we're going to start doing, though, is just doing like quarterly team outings. If you can make it, you can. If you can't, that's okay. There'll be a few more throughout the year that maybe you can make. So
You're pulling my heart when you talk about, being able to release a kiddo because they made progress. Oh my goodness. I wouldn't last in your world very long. I'd just be my heart is like that anyway. So
yeah.
that is just wonderful. So when you talk about the growth that you all are going through right now, some new hires, um, how do you deal with people and keep that rhythm when employees may not agree with the direction of leadership?
Hmm. Yeah, that's a tough one. I would say meeting in the middle. Let's have a discussion. Let's talk it out. We want to hear you. We want you to hear us. And sometimes it's just lack of understanding. And I think, just like for me, like I don't know what a day in the life of a therapist is. A therapist doesn't know what a day in the life of, what I do is, or, our administrative team. I think creating the conversations in the space to have those conflicts, I guess you could say, or confronting, sessions of, yeah, let's talk this out. What are your concerns? Okay, what are your ideas to address those concerns? Because these are my ideas, you don't agree with them. So what would be a different approach? Because I may not be seeing the whole picture. So I think that would be the main thing there.
So how do you manage change as you're going through this change? What are some of the things you're planning to do as you manage this change you're going through?
Yeah, increased communication for sure. In our world, we're just big on scheduling anyway and following a schedule. So I'm trying to create that for each new hire. We also have something like a mentorship program. So whether you're a new grad coming in, whether you're an administrative staff coming in, or you've been practicing for 10 years, you don't know what it's like to be here, in our clinic. So we want to get you acclimated. We want to give you the support and development opportunities,
Yeah.
And so we have that mentorship program. It typically lasts 8 to 12 weeks, but I would say mentorship doesn't end there.
Okay.
We're constantly wanting to grow. We offer continuing education funds, and we want you to use that for what you're interested in, and then come back and teach us, which is good too, I think, in creating that space, but just increased communication overall, I would say.
But I think right there is an excellent way to do it is when you're going through change, if people feel like they're not getting the right information, it's easy to check out, right? So I think you're dead on in that increase that communication, and that door of communication stays wide open during really high periods of change, uh, specifically. I mean, all the time, but more specifically when there's a high level of change going on.
Yeah. And to add to that, mistakes are going to happen, within that, and just apologizing. We're all human. I'm sorry that happened. What questions do you have about this? I want to make this right. It wasn't my intention to, keep that information from you, I guess. So, yeah.
So the last question, thinking about those organizations out there that are listening to this, and those HR leaders and business leaders and C-suite leaders, and they're wondering, how can I be more effective with the rhythm of people and getting the dynamics where they all work in the same direction and they're dancing. What advice do you give them from your experiences that says this is what has worked for us or me in my career?
Yeah. Ideal scene. take it, use it, talk with
Mm.
your employees about that.
Yeah.
Um, Surveying your employees, I think, is huge. We do that a lot too, in thinking about change, what direction we're kind of unsure how we should go. Okay, let's survey people, see what they think.
Wow.
Yeah, I think that's huge because your organization are your staff members, the people that you have. And great people are going to make great change, for your company, for the world, whatever you're putting out there. So
Yeah.
investing in them is huge. It can be exhausting, especially those surveys. You're like, whoa. But I think it's good, and it creates strength and trust within the company, which is huge too.
Yeah, I think that's a good point in terms of the survey.
Mhm.
Employees need to know they have a voice, right? They need to know they have a voice, and then when they know they have a voice, they stay connected, they stay engaged, and that's a simple way to do it. So that thank you so much for that. Uh,
Yeah.
but again, Leah, thank you so much for just sharing, and any final thoughts to the audience of something that you would just recommend going forward as a leader in a growing business, thriving business. What would you say to them?
Never stop learning and growing yourself. I think that's important, especially with just the world that we're in now.
Yeah.
It's fast, and for us, we're hiring younger and younger. So understanding, I guess, that generation too,
Mhm.
is big, but have a diverse stream of growth, whatever that looks like for you.
Yes.
Um, I love Brene Brown. I
Oh, yeah.
love
Oh,
Simon
yeah.
Sinek.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. They're my favorites.
Yeah. And I've found a lot of fun people on TikTok too. So yeah, just never stop growing and learning, and you can learn a lot from your people too.
That is my motto right there with you, Leah. Never stop learning. So
Yeah.
thank you so much. Again, to the audience, thank you for listening to our Rhythm of Business, the People series. Thank you so much. This is Lea Harper, who is the Human Resource Director for Wilson Pediatric Therapy out of the Lexington, Kentucky area. If you're just looking for someone to make you feel good about how to lead, give her a call. She is awesome. So thank you so much, Leah. Thank you so much to the audience. We hope you come back and listen to another episode of the Rhythm of Business, the Voice of the People series. Thanks so much.